Thanks, Neha. Welcome, everyone. This is Audra Agajanian with the Cadmus Group, and our presentation today focuses on the Portfolio Manager tool developed by EPA for its Energy Star program. The Energy Star program is a voluntary partnership offered by EPA, and there's no cost to join Energy Star or to use the Portfolio Manager tool. Becoming an Energy Star partner has many benefits, and it is a proven program based on experiences of all the partner organizations. Energy Star is a trusted brand that is recognized by most customers, and the Energy Star brand adds legitimacy to organizations that are aligned with it. The Energy Star framework and associated promotional materials can help you communicate your energy management plans and progress and secure support from your employees, management, and customers. The agenda for today's webinar has three main topics. First, we'll spend about 10 minutes reviewing background material. Then we'll spend some time doing a live demonstration of how to customize Portfolio Manager for drinking water and wastewater plants. And then we'll review some case studies and have about 10 minutes after that for questions and answers. As Neha noted already, please place any questions you have in the chat at any time during the webinar. So first, I wanted to provide some background information on the potential energy and cost savings for water and wastewater treatment facilities. Energy use in water and wastewater services accounts for 1.8% of national energy consumption, with 1% of that being drinking water and 0.8% of that being wastewater. Water and wastewater services also produce 45 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions per year, and they are the largest energy consumers of municipal governments. Energy use is expected to increase by 20% in the next 15 years. Some of that increase is because advanced treatment technologies, such as membrane filtration, can be very energy intensive. Also, if you need to add a new treatment process to an existing facility, you may need to add a pumping step between processes, which will increase your energy usage as well. The term clean energy refers to energy sources that do not pollute the atmosphere when used, as opposed to oil and coal, which do pollute the atmosphere. There are many clean energy opportunities at water and wastewater treatment facilities. An energy management program can have three different elements: energy efficiency, energy recovery, and energy generation. These terms are used frequently and are often misunderstood. So first I want to explain what they mean. Energy efficiency refers to reducing the energy requirements while achieving the required energy output. In other words, using energy in an optimized manner. When you undertake a project to replace aging infrastructure, you can select new components that are more efficient than the older models, or you could choose to replace existing equipment before it reaches the end of its service life in order to install premium efficiency motors, better sensors for dissolved oxygen, or new controls that will help you reduce energy usage. For example, a variable frequency drive can be installed to vary the frequency and voltage supplied to the electric motor so that you can optimize operating practices and reduce electrical usage. Energy recovery at wastewater facilities typically refers to recovering heat from the wastewater effluent or capturing methane gas and reusing it. On-site clean power generation typically refers to solar or wind energy generation systems that are installed in your water and wastewater facility. Net zero energy is a term for facilities that produce as much power as they consume over the course of a year. One example of a net zero energy facility is the wastewater treatment plant in Gresham, Oregon. They reduce monthly energy bills from $50,000 to zero over the course of 10 years, from 2005 to 2015. So first, they installed a biogas generator in 2005, and then solar panels in 2010. In 2012, they started accepting restaurant waste with high levels of fats, oils, and grease, and this doubled the production of their biogas. The utility manager said their approach could be easily replicated by other systems, and there was no secret formula. The Energy Star program provides multiple pathways for you to either engage in energy efficiency efforts for the first time or improve your existing energy management program. You may want to use Energy Star materials to improve how you communicate with your customers or to better track your progress in meeting internal goals. To get to the Energy Star website, you can use this link here at the bottom of the screen, or you can just type in energystar.gov. And these slides will be sent to you after the webinar, so you'll have those links in there. This slide illustrates how the recommended approach to energy management is an iterative approach. The first step is to get senior management in your utility to make a commitment to the program. You cannot successfully implement an energy management program without management support for staffing and resources. The next step is where the Portfolio Manager tool comes into play to establish a baseline of energy usage for your current operations through a process called benchmarking. In this step, you'll also identify your goals for energy efficiency, reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, or energy cost savings. And then, after you have identified your goals, you need to develop an action plan, which outlines the approach to meet each goal. After you implement the action plan and start meeting your goals, remember to take the time to recognize the staff that have been instrumental in achieving these goals. After your initial action plan has been put into place, it is time to reassess your goals and perhaps develop new goals and start the process again. But this benchmarking step is to assess performance and set your goals is where the Portfolio Manager tool comes into play. Benchmarking involves monitoring or measuring various parameters to establish your current conditions. For an energy management program, the monitoring parameter or metric may be your current electric usage or the dollar amount of your electric bill. By establishing the current condition, you can then compare or benchmark your improvements in energy management by continuing to monitor electric usage or the dollar amount of your electric bill or any other metric. Many studies have shown that benchmarking and tracking energy usage metrics are an important part of your energy management program. The two examples shown on this slide illustrate this point based on an EPA analysis of more than 30,000 buildings that tracked energy consumption in Portfolio Manager from 2008 to 2011. The graph on top shows a 7% decrease in energy use from 2008 to 2011. And the graph on bottom shows a 6-point increase in the Energy Star performance score generated by Portfolio Manager for the same period. These types of graphs can be used to communicate with your customers or your governing board to gain support for new capital improvement projects designed to further reduce energy costs. Also, when your staff see how their hard work translates to cost savings, they'll feel more empowered and committed to future improvement efforts. The Portfolio Manager tool can be used to track energy and water usage over time. Plus, it can help you manage and track various waste streams and cost information. Similar to any other tool where you need to input data, the tool is only as valuable as the quality of your data. It is important to take time and necessary steps to ensure you are using accurate and reliable data. This slide states that Portfolio Manager can be used to apply for Energy Star certification. But please note that this certification is only available for buildings and not for water and wastewater treatment plants. You may be wondering why wastewater treatment plants are not eligible for certification. When EPA analyzed the survey data that are currently used for the regression model to develop the performance scores, EPA felt that additional drivers of energy use may not have been captured fully by the data. EPA has then determined that the model as is a very important first step for the industry, providing a fixed metric that can help you assess performance over time while normalizing for key changes in weather and operational conditions, like influent and effluent BOD changes. Portfolio Manager offers users hundreds of different metrics, so you can select metrics that are most meaningful to your facilities and your goals. For example, in the category of greenhouse gas emissions, there are several metrics available, including direct and indirect emissions, total emissions, and avoided emissions. Mimi Smith will be showing you a brief overview later in this presentation on how to use custom reports to summarize trends with various metrics that might be most useful to water and wastewater treatment plant operators and managers. For wastewater facilities, for an energy performance scoring system is available for wastewater facilities in Portfolio Manager. So after you enter the data into the tool, such as energy use and flow and basic data about your facility, you will get a performance score between 1 and 100. The scoring system for wastewater plants is based on national survey data collected under a Water Research Foundation project. Survey data were collected from a statistically representative sample of wastewater treatment plants of various sizes, types, and locations across the country. So that survey data included information on flow, volumes, treatment process, influent and effluent quality using biochemical oxygen demand, as well as monthly energy use and cost data. So after receiving the survey data back from wastewater utilities, the project team developed a regression model to predict energy use based on flow rate. So the ratio of your specific energy use per flow rate to the predicted energy use per flow rate from the regression model gives you a performance score. This approach is similar to the approach used to develop the Energy Star performance scoring system for buildings. Again, the performance score is on a scale of 1 to 100. So if your plant achieves an energy performance score of 50, it performs better than 50% of all similar wastewater facilities nationwide. If you achieve an energy performance score of 75, your plant is performing better than 75% of all similar wastewater facilities nationwide. EPA considered developing a performance score for drinking water systems, but there were too many variables in the original survey, so particularly related to drinking water distribution systems. So instead, users can compare their energy use per average daily flow to a national median value. There are many ways you can assess energy performance using Portfolio Manager. Here is a list of some of the common performance metrics that are available in the tool. An important one is EUI, or energy use intensity. For water and wastewater treatment plants, this is an energy used per unit of flow treated. Some programs measure energy use per pound of BOD removed. But when the survey was done to set up the score, researchers found that energy use correlated more with flow in their data. This and the next slide mention a couple of other performance metrics. You'll receive a copy of the slides at the end of the presentation, so I won't read through the whole list right now. The other one. So portfolio manager data gathered from 2008 through 2013 of 698 wastewater treatment plants benchmarking trends in energy and water consumption showed a median energy use intensity, or EUI, of 10 kBTUs per gallon per day. The data ranged from less than 5 EUI to over 50 EUI. The trend showed that energy consumption is correlated with the magnitude and type of pollutant load and the treatment methods and technologies used. For example, plants that have more influent BOD use more energy on average. Also, plants that use nutrient removal have, on average, a higher EUI, or energy use intensity. More information on this data can be found if you follow the link on this slide. Here we have Portfolio Manager's reporting templates that help with energy tracking at water and wastewater facilities. You can select a template based on who your audience would be for the report. So a summary report for plant managers and mayors gives an overview of energy use, costs, and greenhouse gas emissions and progress towards your goals. The standard report provides detail on energy use intensity by fuel type, electricity, natural gas, fuel oil, and national average values to help operators identify energy efficiency opportunities. The evaluation report includes facility data and information about energy projects to help states and associations evaluate energy use at multiple plants, identify opportunities for improvements, and recognize achievements. So now we're ready to move on to the live demonstration on customizing Portfolio Manager. I will be handing the screen over to my associate, Mimi Smith with ICF, to walk you through the demonstration. Here we go. Let me know if that works for you, Mimi.
Perfect. Thank you, Audra. Yes, that is all good. Alrighty, hello,
Great.
everyone. I will be guiding you through the live demonstration today, and this section will be a little bit longer. We'll be going through how to add a wastewater treatment plant to your portfolio manager account. And then from there, we'll go through a few other ways to set up different meters and customize your metrics. So the first place we're going to start is going to be the EnergyStar.gov/buildings/benchmark page, which I'm just going to pop in the chat if you'd like to take a look. This is our home base, and it also has a really handy portfolio manager login screen from here. So let me share. Okay. Can someone confirm they can see the screen here?
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so this is the Energy Star benchmarking homepage, and there's lots of helpful resources here. I'm going to scroll slightly over on the left-hand side, depending on what you'd like to do with benchmarking. We also have other recognition programs and some more trainings available for you, depending on what makes the most sense. So I just like to call those out in the beginning if you want to take a look at those on your own time. But from here, we are going to start by over on the right-hand side, you'll see the Portfolio Manager login icon. So from here, you can enter in your username and password, and then you can log in. You can also create your account. This training will assume you already have your Portfolio Manager account, but if you do not, you can just click this Create Account right here. You'll follow the prompts as you can see on the screen, and then you'll click this blue button down at the bottom to create your account. Now I'm going to X out of here and we're going to go back to log in to my account. I'm here. So I will log in just like that, and we'll be brought to our home dashboard. Now, in the dashboard, a few navigational tips here. The first thing you'll see is the properties listed in your account. Now, I have specific views and groups set up, which we will go into a little bit in a few minutes here, but we'll get into how to set those up a little bit later. Then you can also see a few other things if you scroll down on how to manage your portfolio as well. So the first thing we're going to do today is walk through the process of manually entering a building. So to start out, actually zoom in just a little bit here. There we go. To start out, you'll go to this top left-hand corner and you will select this blue button here, Add a Property. Okay, so now you'll be brought to the Setup a Property, Let's Get Started page. Now, you'll see this is a very helpful setup by the tool. There's lots of tips over on the right-hand side that give you some more information depending on what you're looking for. But there's three main sections on this page, and you'll be entering in your property type, the number of buildings, and then the property's construction status. So you'll select this drop-down arrow here, and there are 85 different property types here, which of course is definitely a lot. If some of them are not eligible for certification or for an Energy Star score, but all of that is information we can provide if you're interested. But we're going to scroll down here to find the wastewater treatment plant, which will be under the utility section. And we're going to select that there. You'll also notice we have drinking water treatment plants, energy power stations listed in this section as well. Okay, so we will then just scroll a little bit here. Enter in the number of buildings for your property. So if it is none, it will be a part of a building. One, which is most likely it is a single building, or more than one. And then you'll want to select your property's construction status. I would assume most of you will select existing, meaning that your property is built, occupied, and in use. But for the sake of today, we will select test property, and we'll just make sure we enter data as if this property is in operation. So from here, we will select this Get Started button at the bottom. Okay, so on this next page here, we'll need to enter in general information, including the address, the gross floor area, the occupancy percentage. So we're going to get started with that here. And you'll notice that there are some terms listed over here on the left-hand side that are highlighted blue. And this is meaning that they're specifically defined by the tool itself. So if you want to know what that definition is, you can hover over the term to get a brief definition, but you can also click into the term to be brought to the Portfolio Manager glossary, which will give you a very thorough definition of how gross floor area in this case is being defined by the tool. I will also point out that Portfolio Manager does allow you to enter in temporary, and this is mainly for if you are just getting started in Portfolio Manager and you don't have all of this information handy right next to you, you can select this temporary value. However, if you do need to submit any of this information, whether it's for certification or whether it's for another recognition program, or even for a state or local government program, you will need to submit accurate and verified data. So you'll want to make sure you go back and edit that information when that time comes. Okay, we're going to scroll down here. Now, this last box here will change depending on the type of property you enter in. For wastewater treatment plants, it will ask these two questions, whether your property includes parking area or whether it includes administrative office space. So we will say yes to parking, and then we will click this blue button here at the bottom, continue. Okay, so on this page here, we will be asked to provide a few more details about our primary property type. So each property type will have different use details. And again, as we scroll down here, you'll see the use details right over here in this left-hand column. And it will also give you a brief overview of the wastewater treatment plant and what the actual definition of this property type is in Portfolio Manager. So it's definitely worth the read as you're going through this, if this is your first time setting it up. It will point out that this does not apply to drinking water treatment plants. Like I mentioned earlier, there is a separate property type for that. So for this one, we will enter in gross floor area is already there. We'll enter in plant design flow rate. We'll enter in the average influent biological oxygen demand, as well as effluent oxygen demand. And then we'll also enter in fixed film trickle filtration process and nutrient removal, whether those are on site or not. Okay, so do here. Now, I will also call your attention to these options here. Use the default. So again, if this is your first time setting it up and you're unsure of whether, I do see a question come in. We will answer questions at the end, but this question is relevant. They're asking, what is the value for the gross floor area? So like I was saying, gross floor area is defined by Portfolio Manager very specifically. And so you'll need to include everything listed under this bullet here, and it'll be measured from the exterior walls. And so you'll want to make sure that you read through this definition and make sure that you are encapsulating all the areas that are that should be included as deemed by Portfolio Manager. But this is the most helpful definition here to do that. But I think the question was mainly saying, is it the entirety of the plant? And I would say yes to that question. Okay, going back here. So back to what I was saying about the default values, these are another option. Again, if you just want to see some metrics generated when you're setting up the property, you can use those. You can also use the temporary values yet again. So these are options for you if you don't have all this information right in front of you. But again, if you do want to apply for Energy Star certification or receive an Energy Star score, you will need to have those actual values entered in. Okay, scrolling down further, we'll enter in the details for our next use type, which in this case is parking. And it'll give you some information on the different parking types within Portfolio Manager. So there's an open parking lot, a partially enclosed, and a completely enclosed parking garage. And those are just the options we have here. So you'll want to make sure that whichever one you have on site, you are accurately entering in the gross floor area for each of those. Again, you can enter in temporary values using this column over here on the right-hand side. Okay, once we have finished that, we will select this Add Property button at the bottom. Okay, great. And once you receive this green banner, Portfolio Manager will offer this green banner to let you know that you've done something successfully. If you receive a red banner, you'll know you've done something wrong. What's really helpful about these in the tool is that if you've done something right, it will prompt you to do the next thing, which in this case will be to add our energy information. And similarly, if it gives you a red banner with something wrong, it will tell you what is wrong with whatever section you are in, and then usually give you tips on how to fix it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is scroll down to the tabbed structure we have available here. You'll see these 7-level tab structure. We're going to click into the Details tab. Now, from here, you'll be able to see over in the left-hand corner the basic information, which we've just set up for our property. And then over on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see the property uses and use details. And you can also expand these options using this gray arrow here to expand and see the values that you've entered. You can see whether they're temporary values or not. And then if you would like to edit any of this information, you can select the drop-down arrow under the Action column, and you can edit these use details here. I'm going to move that back up, and we're going to scroll down a little bit here. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is add a flow meter. So because we've entered in a wastewater treatment plant, this option is available for us. So we're going to scroll down about halfway down the Details tab page like we are here, and we're going to select this Add a Meter button. Okay, so now you'll be brought to this page to enter in a plant flow meter. Now, we will just go through the prompts to get started here. We're going to enter 1 today, and then this next one here, we'll select the meter that we'd like to enter and what it applies to. So you can select down this drop-down arrow. Because we only have one property type, it will only apply to our building use here, and then we will get started. Okay, so then on this page here, we'll want to enter in the units, which there are 2 options, either cubic meters or millions of gallons, and then the day the meter became active. So we said our meter was built in 2023, so we're just gonna make that easy for us. And then you can also scroll over here and create custom meter IDs. This is especially helpful if you have several meters associated with your property, which most of you probably will. So depending on the room the meters are in, or you can number them, whatever makes it easiest for you to be able to discern the meters from each other, you can set up custom meter IDs here. Once we've filled those out, we will then select this Create Meters button. Okay, so now we will need to start entering in the monthly flow rates. So what we will do is we'll need to click here to add an entry. Now, there are options for you to be able to upload your meter information using a spreadsheet, and we do go over how to do that in our monthly webinars, specifically the session titled Portfolio Manager 301. So I highly recommend coming to that webinar to learn more about spreadsheet uploads, especially for meter entries, but today I'll be showing you a manual entry process. So we will click to add the entry here. We'll enter in the date of our first bill. So all this information will come from your utility bills, and you'll just directly enter it in if you are doing it manually. What's nice is that once you enter in the first start date, you can select this add another entry, and it will auto-populate the rest of the dates for you. And in order to generate metrics within Portfolio Manager, you will need a full 12 months of calendar data. So that means from January 1st, 2023 through January 1st, 2024. So you'll want to make sure you include a full 12 months. Now, since most utilities do bill from the middle of the month, so for example, January 15th to February 15th, you'll want to include an extra month just to ensure that Portfolio Manager is actually seeing a full calendar year of data. So if you do have mid-month utility bills, just add a 13th month, and then you'll be able to see those metrics generated. Okay, and then all of this information in the usage column here will be pulled directly from your bills. I'm obviously going to be making up some values today, so bear with me here. You'll also notice over in this column over here off to the right, there's an estimation column. And again, this is similar to the temporary values column that we saw earlier. And you can definitely enter that in as temporary depending on, again, what you have access to while you're setting these up. But if you are looking to receive an Energy Star score or apply for certification, you will need actual data in here. Really just making up some numbers today. Okay, and then the last column I'll call your attention to is this total cost column. So the first thing I'll note is that this is not required. Again, I will repeat that this cost column is not required. However, it can be very helpful to see the changes in cost over time, depending on your usage patterns, and it can be another great metric to generate if that is something you are interested in. So I like to call that out because it can be a really helpful tool to see energy and cost savings, hopefully. But again, this is not a required field. Scrolling down to the so you've finished entering in all of your usage for your meter, you will select the Save Bills button. Perfect. Okay, and we see this green banner again, which means we have been successful. So now we will click back into our property by selecting the title highlighted blue text at the top here. Okay. Now, the next thing we will want to do is enter in any energy meters or natural gas meters that you might have associated with your property as well. So the first thing I will show you here is if we go back to our details tab, you can scroll down and you will now see the plant flow rate meter included in your property. Now, if you do need to edit this meter at any point, you can select the meter name and it will bring you right back to the page we were just at to edit any of the monthly entries that you had manually entered previously. Okay, so now to enter in energy meters, we will click over to the energy tab. Now, this is where you'll be able to enter in this usage by first selecting the add a meter over in the right-hand corner. Now from here, you will want to select the sources of your property's energy use. So whether that is electric, natural gas, purchased from the grid, or on-site solar or wind. You will select that there, indicate the number of meters included. Today we'll just do one, and then scroll to the bottom and select this Get Started. Now this will look very similar. We'll need to enter in the units and the date the meter became active. And then again, you can enter in a custom meter ID if that is helpful for you. We will then select this blue button, Create Meters. And then this page will be a little bit different because this is the overall energy usage of our building. So it will ask us what this meter represents, whether it accounts for the total energy consumption or whether it does not. So you'll want to make sure that the meters you include in your property do account for the total energy consumption of your property, and then you'll want to apply selections here. Alrighty, and then this will be very similar. Click to add an entry here. Oh, it did it for me, lovely. And then we will enter in 12 months of data. And again, this is the exact same process that we just went through. So it will pretty much be the same thing. You will pull this information directly from your utility bill, or you can use the spreadsheet upload option, which again, we go over in our Portfolio Manager 301 session. And then we will select the Save Bills down at the bottom again. And once we get that green banner, we can go and select the blue text here to be brought back to our property. So now we will be able to see some of the metrics generated here. So at this point, we will get into customizing these metrics for the treatment plants. So a few things to note here is that Portfolio Manager is originally designed to show energy use related to metrics for commercial properties. And so that's why the metrics you see here are really just pulling from the energy meter that we've included, not necessarily the flow meter that we've included. So because energy use intensity is measured a little bit different for treatment plants, we can customize these metrics to then show that. So we're going to start from the property level tab, and then we'll go back out to the portfolio level, and I'll show you how to customize those views. So the first thing we are going to do is you will see up in this top hand corner, this metric up in the top that's being displayed. You can select on this change metric right here to be able to change whichever metric you would like displayed at the top. So we can, instead of Energy Star score, source and site EUI, we can go down to water and wastewater source and site EUI, which can be pretty helpful. You can also show any of these other options listed here depending on what you're looking into, but we'll change that for now. And then if you scroll down here, we are on the summary tab of the property level structure here. You can see this metric summary over on the right-hand side. So from here, we can change these metrics to be able to show different options than the ones that are listed. So we can change the metrics, which is the first option here, and you can select 7. So to begin, we'll want to deselect some of these here. We'll keep that, and we can scroll down to the energy performance metrics, and then we'll scroll down again to our water and wastewater options. So I'm going to select source and site EUI, as well as whether normalized site and source EUI. Easy to get those mixed up. And then I will also select, let's see here. Let's do electricity intensity. And then for our last one, let's just do this one here to round it out. And then once you've selected those, you can hit this blue button at the bottom, apply selections, and you will be seeing a new chart here with newly generated metrics. Now it appears the values I entered in for our flow meter are a little too low. So we are getting great, 0, which is very low, which is probably not what you will see. But again, just to show you how to change those metrics there and how to see metrics that are actually helpful for you with your wastewater treatment plant. Okay, so then what we will do is scroll back to the top here. And in our last few minutes, we will step into the My Portfolio tab. Now on this tab, you'll see I've already had set up a wastewater treatment plant view and group here. So instead we are seeing these wastewater treatment metrics generated here. And if you refresh these, if you have a lot of properties in your account, it might take a while to refresh, but if you only have one, it will go pretty quickly. So you'll see that we have these lovely metrics here, which would not show if we had the energy metrics, for example, displayed. So I'll change this view just to show you what this would look like normally. Do energy highlights. And you'll see with the energy highlights, we get Energy Star score, site EUI, and source EUI, which again can be helpful, but if you want something more specific, you'll want to set up that specific view. So the first thing we will do is select this Add, Edit, and Delete views. Now from here, you'll want to create a new view over on the right-hand side. And we'll follow these steps here to create this view. So the first thing we will do, let's just call this 4. And then we will select a time frame. So there's a couple options here. You can choose the current energy year, the current baseline energy year, or sorry, not current, current or baseline energy year, current or baseline water year, and then current or baseline waste year. To keep things simple, I'm just going to keep the current energy year here. And then you'll want to select your information and metrics. And in this one, you can only select 3 to display, as you probably saw in the last pane. So we'll want to click 3 here that maybe are the most helpful. So we'll scroll down to the energy performance metrics again, and we will do source and site, and then maybe we will also do total GHG emissions, which I think will be down here. There we go. So greenhouse gas emissions and then water, wastewater, total GHG emissions right there. And then once we've selected those, you can view your selection here, just so you can see what you've actually chosen, and then you can select apply selections. Okay, and then once we've done that, we can save our view. And then it'll bring us back to this Manage Views page where you can select what view you'd like to see. And you can also save this as the default. So depending on what you have in your property or in your portfolio manager dashboard and what you would like to see, you can select whichever view you would like to come up every time you log into your account. And if this is the most helpful view for you, you can save it as the default. And now we will be able to refresh our metrics here, and then we see we've added these views. We've added this new view, and we have these new metrics available to be able to see based on the properties in our account. Okay, and I believe with that, I will hand things back over to Audra. We'll stop the screen share here, and we'll have to fly through these slides. We've included these screenshots here to help you follow along when you receive the slides after today's presentation. So it'll be similar to what we just walked through with some step-by-step instructions. But of course, if you do have more questions about that, please let us know during the Q&A. And Audra, I think I've passed you presenter privileges to walk through our case studies. Oh, actually, I stopped too early. You'll have to
No,
scroll
that's
through
okay.
the next
We
view.
have some more. Oops. That's okay. We have more slides here. We have plenty to go back and look through and see what Mimi had covered. So thank you so much, Mimi. So I have some examples of data that I want to show you, and then we'll have our question and answer session. And note, we are always looking for case studies of treatment facilities. So if you believe you have some information about a good portfolio manager case study, please let us know, and you can contact any of the contacts on the final slide. There's a contacts list there. So, all right, this graph shows data collected by EPA Region 1 through benchmarking, and each yellow bar represents a different wastewater treatment plant. The average daily flow in million gallons per day for each plant is shown on the x-axis, and the energy use is shown on the y-axis. This data shows how wastewater treatment plants with similar daily flow rates can have very different energy use and costs. So another benchmarking approach is just to compare your current energy use with your historical data, rather than comparing with other facilities which may have very different treatment processes and energy requirements. Next, I'd like to present 3 case studies, 2 on energy efficiency projects at small wastewater facilities and 1 on a drinking water facility. So this slide summarizes the first case study for Burlington, Vermont. The wastewater treatment plant has a design flow of 2 million gallons per day, but routinely treats approximately 1 million gallons per day. The original aeration system was powered by 3 75 horsepower multi-stage centrifugal blowers. In 2009, the city replaced one existing 75 horsepower blower with a 50 horsepower K turbo blower and a new luminescent dissolved oxygen probe for automated control. So the project cost was $56,000, and the city received a rebate from the local electric company for $21,000, making the total project cost only $35,000. The new blower has easily met the plant's target DO concentration of 2.5 milligrams per liter with no operational problems. And the chief operator reported that the new blower draws between 30 and 70% less energy than the original blower. The estimated total annual energy savings of the new turbo blower is 250,000 kilowatt hours. So this translates to a cost savings of approximately $34,500 per year based on an average electricity rate of 13 cents per kilowatt hour. A simple payback of 1.6 years, or 1 year if you consider the incentive that they got. And then the second wastewater case study is for the city of Bartlett, Tennessee, which has a 1 million gallons per day wastewater treatment plant, average daily flow. Secondary treatment utilizing 2 mechanically aerated oxidation ditches. Each of the aeration basins is equipped with 3 rotor aerators. So prior to the improvements, the oxidation ditch operated by using one aeration rotor running continuously and a second one during periods of peak flow, each at full speed. Under a demonstration program funded by the Tennessee Valley Authority, the city implemented optical dissolved oxygen technology integrated with VFD speed control of the oxidation ditch rotor aerator. The DO control set point was set at 1.2 milligrams per liter, and the rotor speed was controlled based on the DO readings in the oxidation ditches relative to the set point. So during the demo, one rotor in each basin received full speed for only 20 to 30 minutes each day during the peak flow period. The second rotor was not required to maintain the DO set point concentration at all. So the new DO sensors and VFT controls were installed and commissioned for $13,500 in year 2007 dollars. After installation, the first year, 2008, energy consumption was reduced by 13% and peak demand was reduced by 39%. The resulting energy cost savings were $9,176 per year, a 22% savings. So the payback for project costs was 1.5 years. And then our third case study is for the Austin Water Utility in Texas. They have 3 drinking water plants actually, but their Ulrich plant is a 167 million gallon per day capacity conventional lime softening plant. And this utility has a practice of tracking their energy consumption or benchmarking. So the staff noticed elevated energy use in its raw water pumping despite a recent pump upgrade. So after reviewing the issues with operations staff, it was determined that operators have been trying to avoid switching pumps in an effort to save the energy spike associated with the pump starts and stops. So instead, the staff was throttling the pumps to achieve a desired flow rate. So while throttling does avoid a pump change, it's also an inefficient mode to run a pump. When pumps were left throttled for extended periods, the benefits of avoiding a pump switch were ultimately offset by the inefficient operation. In order to improve energy efficiency, the new procedure included optimizing the switching of pumps and minimizing the use of throttling as a flow control mechanism. This one change in pumping operation reduced the energy use by 5,000 megawatt hours per year. A 8% reduction in energy consumption, which correlates to $400,000 in annual energy costs with minimal capital investment. Greenhouse gas emissions were reduced by 2,500 metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year. So the utility's tracking of its energy consumption at the Ulrich plant for more than a decade helped to highlight the elevated consumption rates and led to an operational change. So that is the end of our presentation. So we'll stop the recording at this time, but if you have any questions, we can discuss them now. Let me check.